Alright, in this video we will be making our top-down shooter style gameplay mechanic. You know, auto lock on, auto lock off out of distance, enemies that will come at you, kind of zombie style, walking towards you. And yeah, if you like what you see, then let's get on with the video. Okay, so assuming you already know how to make your character and camera and stuff like that, we will jump right into this. This project I'm using is the same project I always use for my tutorial videos, so there's not really anything in there other than some basic stats and currency, which doesn't really matter for this tutorial. So all we really need to start is a movable character with the camera that we want. So I've got that set up, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into this for you guys. First things first, we're going to need some animations, obviously. Yeah, so I haven't had any animations made yet, so if you don't know how to do that, you can follow along or you can skip ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our character, into our mannequin, find the locomotion that we're using on our character. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that, and I'm going to drag it down so it's our own. I'm going to put it in here, in my own little animation list. And real fast, I'm just going to make this animation so it's our shooting animations. I have animation pack here, the most basic one you could probably have that works almost the best. I do have better shooting animations, but I'm not really going to download those for this one. So first thing, we're going to want some kind of I'm going to set it so it's like a automatic style. And if you're using the same animation pack as me, I recommend the rifle animations over the assault rifles. It just holds it up a little higher, it's a little more accurate and steady. Alright, I'm not even going to bother with the walking animations, I'm just going to go straight to run animations here. And again, feel free to skip ahead if you already know what you're doing. I've probably covered this 1,000 times. Alright, so if you don't know, this is what we're going to do real fast. We're just going to drag in the corresponding animations to this over here. Fast being fast, fast forward left, wherever it is. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here and let you guys do that. Okay, so I lied a little bit. I ended up doing the walk animations too. So I've got my run, my walk, and my idle. That's basically all we will need. We don't even need the walk, but I just did it to be safe. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that onto our character. So I'm going to drop that in here. I'm going to rename it just so we know and so we have it in the future. Rifle and locomotion. Alright, so automatically we should see that work now. Go ahead and give that a quick little test. There we go. So yeah, there's our rifle animations. Next we will add our rifle in. I'm going to guess everybody has some kind of weapon pack or something with weapons in it. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I did here, I made an empty called hand equip, and I made a trigger. So on start, we are going to set parent, and that parent is going to be set to our right hand of our character. If you go through the bones and the root and all that stuff, find your right hand and set the parent to that. Also, you want to line it up pretty close to it, and this way, so when you're testing in-game and you need to like figure, you know, if you have something going wrong with your weapon, you don't have to go through the entire process of finding the weapon. Sorry, not in-game, but in the editor. So you want to have your weapons right here on the fly just so it's easy. So let's go ahead and find a decent looking weapon. I think we'll go with this one. I'm going to go ahead and drop that right on the hand equip. And let's move that collider. Remove it, I mean. So before I start adjusting the weapon itself, I'm going to adjust the hand equip, because obviously it is not in the right position. So the more weapons we drop in, we want them to be pretty much lined up. So there, line that up. Now that that's lined up, we're going to go ahead and line it up even more within the editor, just so our shots are going to be somewhat accurate. So yeah, that is not going to be hitting anybody right now. And notice how our thing's gone. We don't want to go through this every time. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to adjust the hand equip for the most part. Make sure we're on a local adjusting thing here, whatever that's called. So that's pretty good for the weapons by themselves. Now I'm going to adjust the actual weapon itself. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and copy this component, and I'm going to save that first before we keep adjusting. There we go. So now it should start off like that for the most part. No, not at all. I screwed up here. So yeah, we're just going to adjust the weapon itself. Don't worry about adjusting the hand equip. I screwed up. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And let's adjust our weapon. I'm also going to scale it down a little bit too. It's a little chubby looking. It's definitely meant for Cinti assets, so there we go. That's looking better. So we got that scaled right, and let's just line it up a little better. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Maybe not the best, but let's see, where's our character looking? So we just gotta turn it a little more to the right, and we should be good. There. So that will be our weapon, and it's lined up pretty nice. So let's go ahead and save that, and then go ahead and paste it again. Beautiful. One more quick test to see how that looks. Awesome. That's pretty much it for lining that up. Now, I'm starting to think I should bind this to the left hand, because the left hand is looking a lot more sturdy there, but for now we'll leave it on the right. So, what next? Let's add a character, enemy character. Game creator, character, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and right off the bat, I'm going to add traits to this character. And I'm going to give him my player traits here just because it's got health on it. Alright. That's fine. Won't really adjust anything there. Let's just go ahead and move him though. I'm going to set him at a distance of 10. So I'm going to make my auto lock on to be about a distance of 8 or 9. So in order to do this, so RVR put out a pretty decent video a while back about auto lock on, but his was for pressing a button to auto lock on, like in a Souls-like way. And what he didn't touch down is, say if you were to kill that character, you would still lock on to that character's dead body because it is in fact a character. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a marker, and we will be locking onto markers instead, because you can get rid of a marker after you kill a character, but you can't get rid of the character unless you delete them, but you know, that doesn't look that good. So let's go ahead and add an empty on our character, and I'm going to call it target. Alright, we're going to add a marker to this target. And we're also going to add, no, we're not going to add anything else. We're just going to add that marker. Okay. So that's what we will be locking onto. On our player, let's go ahead and create an empty. I'm going to call this combat. And under combat, we're going to add a local variable. This local variable is going to be a game object. And now let's add a trigger. So this trigger is going to be on update. We will collect markers within player of, we'll go 8. No, we'll go 9. Drop our combat into our local list here. Then we will go down to variables and we will sort by distance. Again, drop our combat in. So we will sort it by closest to farthest. Alright, we will also set our rotation to look at target within that variable list of combat. Alright, and under our combat we are going to create an empty called shoot. And this will have a sphere collider, and I'm going to make it 8. Make it a trigger. And let's see. Also, our enemy character, the target, I am going to add a box collider. I'm going to make that a trigger, and we're going to give it a tag. I'm going to call this tag enemy target. I'm going to apply that tag to it. I'm going to make this box real small too, just so it's not in the way. Alright, so on our shoot trigger, we're going to add a trigger on tag enter. That will be enemy target. And then we don't have a shooting mechanic yet, so this is where we're going to stop this process and add the shooting mechanic. Let's go ahead and give this a quick test though. So I'm not locked onto anything, and as soon as I am close enough, we will lock onto them. Just like that. And to further test that, let's go ahead and add a couple guys, just so you can see that it works pretty good, like to who's closest. Alright, so he's closest, then him, then him, then him, back and forth. Looking pretty good. And notice as we get out of the distance, he goes back to pivot. Not even sure why that happens. I didn't add anything to say that, but that works for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our shooting mechanic. So on our weapon, I'm going to go ahead and create an empty called shooting. And I'm going to add a marker real fast. I'm not going to keep it though, because that's going to screw up our entire thing. I'm just going to do it to help line this up. So we want the marker to kind of come out the barrel there. There we go. Go ahead and remove that marker. I'm going to call this shooting FX as well, because this is where we want our FX to come out of. And let's go ahead and let's see if I have anything for bullets. Tracer, nope. Bullets, no, not really. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a cube. We're just going to create our own bullet here real fast. Alright, and let's dumb this way down. Make it a trigger as well. Let's see, what's a good size? 2.5. Yeah, that's a decent size. And we're gonna go ahead and change this material too to something a little more bullet looking. I think I have a yellow one made. Do I not? Sorry. Materials. I'll use my orange. Okay. And I'm gonna rename this bullet. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new tag. I'm gonna call this player bullet. Give this tag to the bullet. Make sure the trigger's on the collider, and we're gonna make this collider a little bigger. At least that much bigger than the bullet. Okay. So there's our bullet. And I'm going to line this back up on our FX to see where it will start. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's add a trigger onto the bullet. So trigger on enable, wait, okay, hold on, not wait. We are going to move or position. Oh my goodness. We're going to change position of self. We are going to change it to game object with offset. And I believe that is self. No, this is target. And we're going to move it 50. In a world space. The duration is going to be about 3 seconds in linear time. We're not going to wait to complete because that 3 seconds we're going to add right here. So wait seconds, 3.1 seconds, and then destroy self. Alright. I'm also going to add another tag. This is going to be called, I'm going to add a few tags. Let's add an enemy tag. Let's also add enemy impact, and then obstacle impact. Alright, so that's what we need for a little basic top-down shooter here. Let's go ahead and reline this bullet up a little better. There we go. Alright, so now let's add a trigger. On trigger, enter tag. Enemy impact. We will destroy ourself. Copy that, paste that. On object impact, and I want it to have like some kind of reaction when it hits a wall, so I'm going to go ahead and instantiate whatever it is I want, if I even have anything, and this will be on itself. So I'm going to go ahead and find something that I might have. I don't know if I do. If there is anything, it's in here. Some kind of impact. No, so I don't have really any kind of impacts here. I might have to download an asset pack real fast, and then just to showcase that, unless there's one in here, which I doubt. Yeah, I don't even see FX in this one. That's weird. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and download the Cinti particle pack. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have Cinti particles. I'm going to go ahead and find impact small as well as impact gunshot. I'm going to duplicate these and I'm going to drag them down into my own project folder because I'm going to make them my own. Okay, so project, and both of these we are going to have the same trigger. So trigger on enable, we're going to wait 1 second and then destroy self. And this is going to go on both of them. Okay. And let's see, so on the impact we want to instantiate an impact small, or the one that I made, I guess. Alright, so now let's add the actual shooting mechanic itself. So this bullet I'm going to drag down into here as well. So it's a prefab, and I'm going to delete that. And let's create the actual shooting mechanic. So under the weapon, let's go ahead and name this weapon. And I'm going to create another empty just to clean it up a bit. Attachments, I'm going to drag these two in there. Okay. So there's a shooting FX. I'm just going to duplicate that. Rename this one shooting. I'm just going to rename this one FX. So shooting. We're going to turn this off by default. And in our combat shoot on enemy target enter tag, we are going to set active shooting to true. Alright, so shooting trigger on enable. We will instantiate our gunshot at a location of game object, our FX. We will also instantiate our bullet at game object, FX, or self, it doesn't really matter. But yeah. So let's go ahead. I'm also going to create a cube in the world and give it the obstacle tag, just so I can show the impact. I'm going to put it behind this guy. Let's go ahead and make this nice and big. And let's change the material a bit. Give it the obstacle impact, and let's see if this works at all. Okay, so it worked, but we don't have this on repeat. So our shooting, we're going to instantiate that. We're going to wait 0.2 seconds and restart. Instructions. Let's go ahead and try that now. So there we go. Now notice how my guy is a little struggling to hit him. So clearly I need to move my gun a little bit over. But it all depends on the animations you're using as well. So I have this other rifle pack where it's pretty much spot on every time. I'm not too big of a fan on this animation pack for guns. It's pretty good for melee stuff, but guns just isn't it. Alright, so let's go ahead and just adjust this a little bit. That's where we want it. And let's go ahead and copy these components, paste these components, and save. Try that again. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and change my character's rotation up a little bit too. I'm going to go 3000 with it. Alright. Now that we have that pretty much set up, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, we're going to make these characters, we're going to give them some health. So we're going to create an empty. This is going to be health damage. Give it a box collider. And we're going to make it almost the size here. Oops. Alright, so this is our health damage. So let's go ahead and add a trigger on this. So trigger on tag enter, that being our bullet. We will change the stats of our character. Change the health and subtract it by, oh, I don't know, let's go with 20. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and create another one called death. I'm going to shut that off by default. Or no, I'm not. I'm going to have to keep it on. I'm going to write another trigger. So on trigger, stat attribute change. We're going to go back to our character here and find the health, run conditions, add the conditions. If stat character health equals 0, then we will ragdoll the character. Okay. We will also destroy our target, and we will set active our player's shooting to false. I'm going to go ahead and wait. Let's wait half a second and then target our shooting to false. Okay. And we want that ragdoll on our character, not our player. And you know what? Now that we have a health system, why not add a little bit of blood spurts just to help, you know, signal that he's getting hurt. So I got a blood splat right here, blood splat small. Go ahead and duplicate that, and let's move that to our folder. And let's copy these things here, so after 1 second it will destroy itself. Okay. So health damage, not only are we going to do that, but we're going to instantiate our blood spurt. Let's just go self. And on death as well, we will do the same thing. Okay. Now that should start looking better. There you have it. Now let's go ahead and put this to the real test now. So this character, we are going to move way out of the way here. I don't want to be near him. Let's add a couple more walls here. And we're going to create an empty, or no, we're going to create a cube. This is going to be This is going to be an enemy spawner, is what this is going to be. So we're going to make it a trigger so we can go through it, and we're going to make it damn near invisible. I'm going to rename it spawn. So trigger on start, we will wait 1 second, we will instantiate, we are going to instantiate our character at self. We're going to wait not just 1 second, we're going to wait a random from 1 to 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate a couple of these. And what we're also going to do is we're going to go to the character. We're going to set our speed to 2 or 1, I guess. And we are going to add a trigger on them. Let's create empty and call this chase. Why? Because on trigger start, we will move to our player. So let's move our character to our player. Think of this as like, I don't know, zombies, I guess. What am I doing? There we go. Zombies, but they're not really going to attack us, and they're going to have weird running animations for walking. But yeah. So, right off the bat, I can shoot them as soon as they spawn. I don't want that, so let's go ahead and do this. Move this back all a bit. There we go. And let's try that. There we have it. Okay, so notice how my shooting stopped. That's not what we want. So what I'm going to do instead of restarting our shooting, I'm going to set it to false. And I'm going to make our shoot trigger. After we set the shooting to true, we are going to set this to false as well. And then we're going to add another trigger on disable. Let's wait. I think it was 0.2 seconds we had. And then set active self to true. And I was trying to do that in my head real fast. I'm pretty sure that will work. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So now I've stopped shooting because they're not in range. And that looks really weird. I'm going to go ahead and quickly get the walk. Oh, okay, I already have walking, so let's go ahead and apply that to our characters. So our start state, and walk, I'm gonna make that 2 now, and let's try this. So yeah, just imagine these are zombies instead. Now, these ragdolls, they're pretty good right now because of the default character. If you were using Cinti or something, these would be flying 1,000 feet in the air. And what you would do for that is you would just simply change the mass. So I'm going to do that anyways. So change the mass to 300. You should be set. All of these spawns we want to restart. Instructions. Copy. Paste. There. Now we have, top-down shooter, auto-locking onto enemies, and yeah, that's pretty much all we really need. Alright, well that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys like it, please leave a like, and I will see you guys in a later video. Well, actually, hold up. Before we even end this, notice how this is building up bodies really fast. So, on our character death, I think we will wait about 4 seconds and then destroy the entire character itself. And then we will save some lag from happening. And also I noticed my bullet cast shadows. I don't like that, so let's not do that. Alright, one more time, real quick test play here. And there we go. Bodies are disappearing. We are saving ourselves the lag. And with that massive 300, I barely move the bodies as I walk over them, which is nice. And yeah, if you guys like what you see, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.